Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Thursday and we've got some stuff to talk about today. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about some Scream update news regarding Patrick Dempsey and what he had to say when asked if he was going to be in the Scream 7 movie. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so we've got to talk a little bit more about Scream 7 news because some new news has come out. And this new news is actually that Patrick Dempsey was talking on the Today Show and was asked about Scream 7. So the reason this is important is because this confirms a few minor things. But the reason he was on the Today Show is because of some of the work he does with cancer and other types of things like that. As you know, he is a really cool guy. He does race car driving and all this other stuff, and he was voted one of the sexiest men alive. So they, of course, go through all that. But the part that you guys are ready to hear is what he said when asked about Scream 7. He was asked if he was coming back because Al Roker says, "Aren't you and Sidney Prescott married in the movie?" And he says, "Yes, we are." That confirms that they are indeed a couple in the movie. Well, as if that news wasn't big enough, he says he just hasn't gotten the script yet. Now, this is the part that worries a few people, and I've seen people online talking about how they are worried about the fact that he hasn't received a script yet. This is not out of the norm for Hollywood to do. The script is handed to people when the movie script is actually done, when it is confirmed to be done. They are still a bit off from their shooting date, so of course they're going to get the script out to the people as soon as possible. But I bet if you ask anybody in this movie if they've gotten a script yet, they're going to say no. Nobody has gotten a script for this movie because the final script is not yet finished. And the script, even when they get the finished script, is not a done deal. Movies will have reshoots, scripts will get redone while the movie is being made. This is not uncommon. But I see a lot of people that always worry about this as a thing. They always worry about, well, if the movie's being reshot, then it's bad. If the movie's being redone, it's bad. But you can't really think like that because a movie is never really done until the final movie is out. They have had movies where they reshoot things like 2 weeks before the movie actually comes out. This is not an uncommon practice. Movies get reshot. The scripts don't always go to the people months and months in advance. And if they do get a copy of the script, chances are that by the time they get another copy of the script, that script has changed. So you cannot actually look at this as a bad thing. The fact of the matter is that we should all be looking at this as the most wonderful news we could have gotten, because this actually confirms that yes, in the universe of Scream, as he has been told, because he states that there have been talks. So the fact that he states that there have been talks actually tells us that he was in communication with the people that are doing Scream 7. So that tells us that it's all about the money. It's all about the money, the script, and everything else being completed, all the stuff getting ironed out. This is kind of what we were talking about with Courtney Cox a few weeks ago about she's probably in the movie, and they're just ironing out all the kinks, trying to make sure that she gets paid what she's worth, and trying to make sure that she has the role that is suited best for her in the script. So yes, of course, that is a thing. Well, now we have word that Courtney Cox has indeed signed on. That is the latest rumor, that she has indeed signed on. So we know she has signed on. That's sort of been somewhat confirmed. Now, the last person, you might remember when this all first came out about Scream 7, his name was on the list of people, but it sort of had a question mark to it, kind of making you ponder as to whether he was going to have a big part of the movie or whether he was going to have a small part. But I think he will probably have a much bigger part than he had in the previous movie. And the reason I say this is that if they are married, then it's going to stand to reason that since we know about the characters so far, we know that the daughter is closer to him than she is to Sidney. And that's kind of going to be something they have to explore. It's not going to be like if he's not in the movie, she's going to be able to call the father and we're just going to hear her call the father and ask for advice. This definitely means that he has been in talks to be in this movie, and that's exciting. And then he has been in talks to be in this situation where he is going to play potentially a bigger part. Now, getting the script is another story because, yes, there are rewrites. Yes, there are reworks. It could be completely plausible that by the time they write the script and get it all done and all finished and everything is said and done, that he may not be in the movie at all. This has happened in the past. There have been movies based on books where entire characters were in the original script for the movie that actually were deemed not to be as important as the director and writers originally thought, so they were taken out of the script altogether. This is a completely plausible thing that happens, but I don't see that happening here. I actually think that what we're going to get is Patrick Dempsey in a much bigger role, and it's not out of the ordinary that he would not have a script at this stage. I cannot stress that enough because that's what people are going with. It worries them that he doesn't have a script. Nobody in this movie at this particular time has a script, except for whoever is currently putting the finishing touches on the script, and then they will hand it over to the actors. The actors have probably been in talks and told what their characters are going to do in the movie, what their roles are, since we know, you can guarantee they know. That's the thing. Since we know what they're going to be like in the movie, the actors already know what they're going to be like in the movie. That's kind of an important thing here, because he has said that there have been talks. And if he has said there's been talks, this means that he knows exactly what role he would be playing in this movie. And why not? Because we have an idea as to what role he would be playing in this movie. So I do think that this is a very good thing, and I'm actually surprised that he answered Al Roker the way that he did, because normally if an actor has been sworn to secrecy, they're not going to answer. They're going to do the whole Matthew Lillard thing, where Matthew Lillard said, if I am in this movie, I will lie to your face. Remember, we talked about that. Matthew Lillard said if he was in Scream 7, he would lie to our faces. Well, Patrick Dempsey is not lying to your face. He's outright saying there have been talks. I'm just waiting for the script. So I consider this to be a win. I consider this to be somewhat confirmation, unless the script itself changes, that we are going to get Patrick Dempsey, that he is going to be playing the role we have been told he's going to be playing. That of the father that the daughter is closer to, rather than being closer to Sydney. I do think that we're going to see a lot of what we've been told be exactly what it is in the movie. And that's the problem and the blessing. It's sort of the curse and the blessing with the whole social media thing that we have in the world now, with videos like mine, with just the movie industry at heart right now, is that there is room for us to learn a lot more about how the movies are working out and how the characters are being developed than it was in the past. Back in the day, the only thing you could hope for is that you picked up the latest Fangoria, which, come on, who didn't love Fangoria back in the day? Or Starlog, for that matter, was another magazine that I absolutely enjoyed. And then back in the day when People magazine actually did talk to actors about movies rather than a lot of the things they talk about today in People magazine, and all of that stuff actually was a good thing. That was your news source. And watching Entertainment Tonight, that was how you got the news. So if they didn't want you to know something, if you weren't going to be privy to that bit of information, then you just weren't going to. But with the computer age and the age that we are in now, suddenly social media is everywhere and people are leaking out all sorts of information that kind of gives way to things like this. So when you get an actor who is on a show as big as the Today Show and he doesn't deny or confirm what you've been hearing, then that to me is something that is exciting, because that definitely tells me that he is signed on. He's just not gotten the script. And he's not going to say he signed on. That's part of the mystery of the whole thing, is while you do know which characters you've been told are in the movie, you're never going to know that an actor is completely signed on to be in the movie until you actually see it written down, until you actually see the actor confirming that they are in the movie and that they have begun filming. For this matter, we know that Sidney Prescott is in the movie, but until we actually see her saying that she's filming the movie, you can't even really 100% be sure of that. That's kind of the thing. Now, the other thing that this brings up is the idea that if he is in the movie, is he going to be the killer? Because they could also be working it out here to where he has the potential to do another movie while they have him. They're kind of in talks maybe to do something else with him, because he has come back to the horror community in a really big way. Thanksgiving is coming up after Halloween, and if you have not seen the Thanksgiving movie that he did, you definitely need to check that out, because that Thanksgiving movie is epic. And I loved the idea of him being in that movie and coming back into the horror community, because he started off all these years ago in comedies, little teenage comedies, and he was so much younger. And then he went to Grey's Anatomy and played Dr. McDreamy, got to be the sexiest man alive and all that. But horror fans know him for Scream. Horror fans know him for the horror movies that he's in, and apparently he enjoys it enough that he's gone back into the horror movie industry a little bit. He started to play more horror parts, and I'm 1000% down for him to be in this movie. And I think it is a loss if they are not kind of holding him there in order to maybe do something along the lines of a Thanksgiving 2. But I want to know what you guys think about this information. Are you excited that he is, in fact, talking to the Today Show about Scream 7? Do you think that him saying that, yes, there have been talks, but he hasn't gotten the script yet, that this means that he is not going to be in the movie? Because all the things we have been told say he is. So I kind of want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think he's going to be playing a much smaller role, or do you want to see him in a really big, huge role? Alright, as always, we want to know what you guys think, so make sure you are leaving us that comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. Also, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation as well. And then, don't forget to hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. Then, friends, Miko says we need more subscribers, and look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell while you're down there, so you don't miss a single video we do. And then, friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.